Well, today Gary is joining me on my Slice of Heaven cooking show, and we're going to make my favorite appetizer, which is guacamole. Okay, so you kind of are going to take the lead since you're the one that does.
Since I make the guacamole in the house,
okay.
Typically, unless I'm gone and Ruthie just has a real need for guacamole, she'll do it herself. But otherwise, I pretty much will take care of that. You want me to go ahead and cut the onion?
Sure. Or do you want? Why don't you tell them about what we're going to use with the avocados?
Okay. First of all, let's talk about the avocados. The recipe we're having today is going to be we're going to take 3 avocados, but I want to show you what an avocado is like that you do not want to put in the guacamole. When they're a dark green like this, you don't want to take them and cut them yet. Give it a few days and it'll be just fine. These are the kind, if you need an immediate fix for guacamole, these are the type of avocados. They're a dark chocolate brown and they're ready to go. Let's slice those open and they'll be nice and soft and ready to make into guacamole. So, did you want me to cut these?
Okay, so while you do so the recipe we're going to use is 3 avocados and 2 Roma tomatoes.
Correct.
Okay, so they're kind of like a medium to small tomato.
These are not Roma tomatoes.
No.
These are fresh out of our garden. I didn't plant Romas this year, so.
So I am going to and then you just dice your.
Right.
Well, kind of small though, right?
Yeah.
When you do it.
Kind of like what you'd have in salsa. Is what you want to dice your tomatoes at. Now the avocado, I just take a small, sharp serrated knife. You slice it. You twist it a little bit. Sometimes I'm successful with taking a sharp knife, like a French knife.
I'm going to stay away when you do this.
Yeah, I haven't cut my fingers off yet doing this, but there's a chance. So you crack into the nut, and sometimes it comes out, and sometimes it doesn't. And if it doesn't, like this particular time, you can just crack open the avocado like this, and you peel it out with your fingers. It gets a little messy. This is a throwaway bowl over here.
So when you put the avocado in your dish, then you're just going to be mashing it?
Correct. We're going to mash this up anyway, so what it looks like when it comes out is just fine. And some people don't like the mushiness, touching the mushiness of the avocado, so you can take a large serving spoon like that. But I saw on TV one time, it's easy to just take your finger. If it's the correct ripeness, you take your finger and it pulls it right out.
And do you need to mash it before I put the tomatoes in?
You can.
Is that what you typically do?
It's probably best to mash it just while there's avocado in your mixing bowl.
Okay.
Let's see if we can be successful on this one.
And we eat guacamole with just chips. It's also nice to add guacamole if you're doing some kind of a nacho plate. If you have nachos, and if you like a beef, you can brown your beef, add your spices, and then you can have different things that you put on your nacho plate. We like to melt shredded cheddar cheese first. Matthew, actually, our son Matthew, when he makes his plate, he started adding, instead of waiting until your cheese is melted, he actually puts the salsa on the chips too. And then the salsa is warmed up, so he likes to eat it
I'm going to see if I can get this one right.
Okay.
It's the third and last chance. There. That's how it's supposed to work if you have the correct ripeness. Just hit the nut fast with a French knife or a sharp knife. Be very careful though. I mean, you can do some damage to yourself if you're not real careful with it. And you pull that nut off, or you knock it off like that. And I'm going to put that one away because we're done with that. So now, as I was saying before, we have a nice clean cut here. You can take your finger and just.
So our garden with our tomatoes is just about at the end. We were busy the last few weeks actually doing a renovation project upstairs. Gary took out 22-year-old carpeting. We decided it was time to go, and we replaced it with wood floors now. So we've been kind of busy with doing this project. So you haven't had quite as much time to really focus on your tomatoes and some of the other parts of your garden, so
Right.
it's kind of out of
Tomatoes are kinda growing
control.
wild. The vines have all kind of fallen over. I didn't get them staked up high enough, so. And I talked to a real gardener, vegetable gardener, and he was telling me that this hasn't been a great year in this part of central Wisconsin for tomatoes. For what reason, I'm not sure. Let me pull the seed out of here. Be careful not to, you want to get off the stems at the very tip of the avocado. They don't belong in there.
And when you often put an avocado on your salad, you can prepare it and then you add a little bit, sprinkle a little bit of lime juice on it, and that will prevent it from getting black. Is that correct?
Correct.
So you can, you know, get your avocados ready, but not eat it right away, as long as you put a little bit of juice on it to preserve it.
Right.
So we are adding 3 avocados, 2 Roma tomatoes or medium to small tomatoes, and about a half of a medium onion.
Yeah, I think you can take a half a medium onion, a half a cup, if you will. Making guacamole is actually pretty much up to the person that's making it, how you like it flavored. Like most avocado or most guacamole recipes call for cilantro. Neither one of us are big cilantro fans, and so we eliminated the cilantro, but other guacamole lovers will say, how can you eliminate cilantro? That's like the key ingredient or one of the key ingredients, but for us, we'll just add extra onion or add extra, you know, cayenne pepper or whatever you like. You know,
Excuse me.
it's all made to taste.
So if you do add cilantro, you put in about a tablespoon,
About a tablespoon of cilantro.
of chopped
Right.
cilantro.
Right.
And while Gary finishes the onions, and you chop those fairly fine,
Yeah.
I'm going to add a half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper and a half a teaspoon of cumin and just a pinch of salt. It calls for kosher salt. This is actually sea salt. You can do either. And then we're going to add about a half, well, it calls for 1 clove garlic, so that would be about 1 teaspoon,
About a teaspoon
of garlic.
Correct.
So we're gonna put
Okay, this
that in there.
This is probably more onion than we would normally want.
That was a sharp garlic.
Yeah, and the onions are starting
good?
to tear me up. We're living in a valley of tears here today.
Okay,
Onions and garlic.
so we've got everything in here, and then you're gonna finish it off by squeezing a small, well, they're all pretty small, I guess, but 1 lime you're gonna squeeze in here. I know when we go to Mexico, one of my favorite things is
Okay,
guacamole.
here we go with the lime juice.
That kind of squirts.
It's squirting. You see, if you don't finish your guacamole in one sitting, if you made a larger batch, you might want to put a little more lime juice in it just to preserve it, just like you do with a half an avocado. And you can use lemon juice as well.
Okay.
I'm gonna put a little grind
Oh,
of
and
pepper in
then
there too.
yep.
Just a little
Grind
grind
some
of pepper.
pepper.
There's already red cayenne pepper in there, but a little black pepper
Okay, so
is
we are
always a favorite.
going to stir this up. And then you can just put it in your favorite bowl, and then we're going to serve it with Tostitos chips. I think with the additional color, if you have a colorful bowl to put it in, it just makes your presentation that much nicer.
Or you can use the colorful corn chips if you wish.
That's true.
How's that? Couple more?
And add a couple more. Okay, so there you have it. My favorite dip that I've been wanting to have on our show for quite a while.
She's already had
Okay.
it twice this week, so it's only Wednesday, so she's gonna have it 3 times in 4 days.
So I hope you enjoyed this segment of Cooking with Ruth. And I've enjoyed having Gary on here because he does do a lot of the cooking around here.
I appreciate that. Thank
So
you.
from a slice of heaven, until next time, happy cooking.
Thanks.
To try this.
Oh, yeah. Why not?
And of course, if you do make it a little bit in advance, you can kind of get the,
Let the flavor settle
set in.
in.
Okay.
Okay,
Very good.
here we go, folks.
A little bit more lime.
lime juice.
That's good.
We'll save the rest for our mojitos tonight.
This is the garbage bowl. Okay, and that's for your, honey, that's for your hands.